Hello, everyone. Welcome to the program. This is Politics Today live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimbaloe here in Abuja. Tonight, I will be taking you to Rivers State. Of course, that is where our attention is on. Just in one day, so many things have happened. You perhaps see some of the biggest political actors in Rivers State speaking on the same day. Well, in this kind of situation, there's so much more that shouldn't even surprise you if you have been following Nigeria's politics. Rivers State has come with a huge political savviness from those who are the player, those who think that why should Rivers politics always come with tension? The most the most grassroots politics or election is causing a whole lot of trouble in Rivers State, and I will get you into the heart of the matter tonight, break it down for you, and get perspectives for you. So stick around with me, everyone. Tonight, we are served with a cocktail of political tension and a possible apocalypse of some sort in the ever politically sensitive Rivers State in Nigeria's South region. The escalating political tension in that state is worsening as we approach the planned local government elections slated for the 5th of October 2024. What should be a routine electoral process has transformed into a full-scale crisis with a whirlwind of conflicting court rulings, leaving the electorate in a state of confusion. The Labour Party is rallying for the elections to proceed as scheduled, emphasizing the importance of democratic representation, and in contrast, the ruling People's Democratic Party in the state has raised concern over the legitimacy of the process, claiming that the electoral body has not adhered to necessary protocols. Meanwhile, the All Progressives Congress APC is calling for a postponement. The APP, on the other hand, is very confident if they go into election tomorrow, they will beat anyone and they will come out victorious. Well, the current atmosphere is brewing and is rife with political instability and potential violence. At the center of this turmoil is Governor Fubara, the #1 citizen in the state, who stands as further complicated matters. He appears to support the elections, but he's faced with a lot of backlash from opposition parties who accuse him of using state resources to manipulate the outcome. Adding to the chaos, the Nigerian police and the Inspector General of Police have now been drawn into the debate as they prepare for potential unrest on election day. Well, as these tensions mount, we'll explore the positions of each party in the looking at the implications for governance in Rivers State. Let's break it down for you, and let's begin from the very, very top. So where did these all start from? So yesterday, there were some information as to the role of police. So the Governor Fubara, went to the office of the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, where it was learned that the police was going to withdraw its men from that office. It got the governor upset, and in fact, the governor was upset to the point of calling out the Inspector General of Police, and he gave a threat in his visit to the RCX office. Take a listen to Governor Fubara.
So I have to say this on a very strong note. We've been taking enough nonsense from this institution. Everybody is aware of the court judgment. And even the judgment as they call it, the ruling. Did the ruling specify anywhere that the election should not hold? He said, don't give voters register. What are we doing with it? Okay, police, don't provide security. Don't provide security. Is this the same thing as blocking the election? I don't know what the relationship between Inspector General of Police and one person who claims he has so much power in this state. I don't know the relationship because it's beginning to go beyond the normal professional relationship. I said the government wrote a letter with the judgment that we have to him. And what he's acting on is what he called the federal government, the judgment he got from the Federal High Court. Even at that, if we should go by that, the judgment in the Federal High Court, did he say election should be bad? Go and work with your security. But this election must hold. If you like whatever it is you want to do, do it. The election result will be declared. People will be sworn in. I say it here. What kind of a country is it? And when it comes to the issue of River State, it becomes different. You're not ashamed of yourself. You call yourself Inspector General Police.
Enough is enough.
Enough is enough. I will be here. In fact, if I go back and I hear anybody, I will come here. This is my property. And you don't have any power whatsoever to bar me from entering it. Yes. Just try it. That part of your history as a very wicked and fraudulent Inspector General Police will include shooting Fubara. Yes.
All right. That was an angry Governor Fubara yesterday night. Well, over the night, into this morning, early hours of today, things are escalating and things are moving so fast. So all political maneuverings are happening. But Governor Fubara had so much more to say. So he addressed a press conference. Take a listen to him again this morning.
Any attempt by anyone, any sister agencies to stop this election, we are prepared to make sure that we resist it. This press briefing is not, if you listen to me, I'm not calling the world, I'm not crying. I'm not calling the international community. I'm not calling, according to them, when they have their own press conference or press briefing, they call the international community. I'm not calling international community. I just want the world. I want you people to let people know that we are prepared. We are prepared. Once in a lifetime of every man, you need to stand on the side of truth. And even if it will take your life, history will not forget you.
All right, then. So after the governor gave that press conference today in Port Harcourt, in other side of town, some very top political heavyweights also gave their own press conference. This include the likes of Osiche Okocha, the likes of the minority leader in the House of Representatives, Honorable Chinda. Now, let me allow you to listen to Honorable Chinda. And part of the submission in almost over an hour of a press conference. Take a listen to Honorable Chinda.
We have also heard that they have gone back to rely on the civil defense to provide security and ensure that they disobey the judgment of court. Let us also call on civil defense and all other paramilitary organizations in this country. Your oath of office, your line of duty is to defend the laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Judgment of court is part of our law, and you must defend it.
All right, Honorable Kingsley Chinda. Now, members of the Rivers State chapter of the People's Democratic Party, they've staged a protest march to the Department of State Security Office and the Government House, both in Port Harcourt, in Rivers State. So at the scene, a massive presence of security operatives are seen on the ground. The protesters initially gathered in large numbers at the PDP secretariat. And you see them in large numbers and causing some kind of vehicular obstruction and slow movement of vehicles around the town. The security operatives also struggle to control the crowd in amidst the raining situation. But now, in all of this, the PDP, the APC, the Labour Party are all speaking. Let me allow you to listen to the People's Democratic Party and their own stand towards these planned LG posts. Take a listen to the PDP.
We also call on our members and indeed the law-abiding residents of Rivers State to defend the rule of law by ensuring full compliance with the latest judgment of the Federal High Court. 4. Nobody should participate or allow the conduct of any local government elections in defiance of the judgment of the Federal High Court. 5. We want to thank INEC for standing on the path of truth clearing air on the non-release of INEC voters register to RISEC, and for complying with the Federal High Court judgment. 6, we also commend the Nigerian police for standing up to the rule of law and ensuring the strict enforcement of the Federal High Court judgment, being the latest on the Rivers State local government elections. 7, we want to caution that any attempt to announce any result whatsoever will be an invitation to violence and will be properly resisted, as no election will hold in the Rivers State on the 5th of October 2024 as ordered by the court.
All right. So that's the PDP. The APC too is speaking. Take a listen to the APC.
I hear that some people in Rivers State are parading themselves to have been candidates of the All Progressive Congress. Where were they screened? When was the program to determine the process of the election advertised? When were forms purchased by those candidates? Where is the receipt of purchase of their forms? And who screened them? So please ignore whoever parades himself to be contesting the so-called election here in Rivers State, because they are not members of the All Progressive Congress and we are not aware that they are contesting the election. Our party, as a law-abiding party, based on the subsisting court judgment from the federal court in Nigeria, we are not participating.
Is the Labour Party participating? APP has said they will participate. But Labour Party, what is their own position? Let's hear from them.
This election must hold because people have been working tirelessly. People need to do this election. I mean, like, how do you tell somebody who's been working in the last 3 months, July, August, September, this is October, who has been working, going round communities, knocking on doors and doing door to door? You are telling the person he can't hold an election for what? Why exactly? This same state, we were told that election needed to hold, you can't have CTC, fine. Now this is election, why is anybody debating it? Why is there even any noise about it?
Well, the Rivers State Police Command said it will enforce court orders as regarding the local government elections bill to be held on Saturday in the state. The command spokesperson, Grace Siringe Koko, in a press statement titled "Proposed October 5th, 2024 Local Government Chairman Election." In that statement, the police confirmed being in receipt of a restraining order preventing them from providing security during the LGA elections. What is it about this local government election? You've heard several states in the last few weeks and months conducting local government elections. Why is that of Rivers State an exception? Let's get some insight into all of this tonight. I'm being joined by a well-respected senior advocate of Nigeria, Mr. OCJ Okocha, who joins us, former NBA president. He joins us virtually live from Port Harcourt. It's good to see you, Mr. Okocha. Thank you so much indeed for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Shehu, and good evening, viewers.
Yeah, it's been a cocktail of legal, political confusion and controversies. Now, let's take away, let's begin the conversation from the legal standpoint, because that is one point that has caused division. Whether or not this election should hold, there is a Rivers State High Court that has given a ruling in that matter. There is the Federal High Court in Abuja that has given a ruling on the same matter. There are those who have debated that this is a conflicting ruling of courts of coordinate jurisdiction. And how we have come to this point is now causing a lot of legal confusion. Give us an insight on what you think is going on politically and legally in the Rivers LG polls.
Thank you. Now, let me say that there is a difference between a ruling based on an interlocutory or interim application and a judgment that has produced a decision, which is a final decision after a case has been heard on its merits. The ruling of 5th September was an interim order made by IPC Igwe, a judge of the High Court of Rivers State, giving permission for elections to be held into local government councils in Rivers State. That did not involve INEC, the Independent National Electoral Commission, localized its concerns with the parties that were before it, the judge, the court. But the judgment of the 30th of September is a final judgment after all parties concerned have been heard by an appropriate from the Independent National Electoral Commission, which is a federal agency, the State Independent Electoral Commission, which is a state agency, Attorney General of Rivers State representing the Rivers State government, and then the Inspector General of Police and the Department of State Security Services. Of course, that kind of case involving federal agencies must go to the Federal High Court that has jurisdiction, which is what jurisdiction was exercised by that court presided over by Lifu J, Justice Lifu, that delivered a judgment on 30th of September. Now, we know that it is the latest order, the latest judgment in time that parties ought to be bound by. So, the orders made by Lifu J after a case heard on its merits, the reason will tell you that that is the order that should operate. And that is the order upon which we as Rivers State concerned citizens and elders said the time is not right for the Rivers State Independent National Electoral Commission to hold this local government election fixed for 5th of September of October 2024. But I'm surprised that the government of Rivers State, headed by the governor, Sir Fubara, has gone ahead to say openly that he will hold elections and said that there's no order stopping the elections. I don't believe that his Attorney General has advised him appropriately on the purport of this order. The 6th or 7th decision made by the court is very clear. The order was directed at all the parties, 1st to 5th defendants, in furtherance of the purported local government elections slated for 5th of October. And the court said clearly that every step taken is set aside until the mandatory provisions of the law have been complied with. This should be clear to everybody. This court has said, don't hold elections yet because you've not complied with the requisite procedure as analyzed by law. I don't know why there should be a controversy. So this is the point, that this order is clear, even to what I would say laymen. You don't need a lawyer to interpret this for you. You don't need a judge to interpret it for you. I wonder why there's a controversy. So this is my position, and I hope that all concerned will understand that it's important that we respect what we call the rule of law. Judgments of courts are to be obeyed. If you feel dissatisfied, go on appeal.
Yeah, let me jump in quickly. Now, in the Justice Lifu's judgment, and you see the position, the prayers that were answered by the court, there were 7 of them in that particular order that was issued and signed on the 30th of September. I'm very sure that that's the same one you are referencing, sir. Is that right?
You say what?
Is it the same, the one that was signed on the 30th September in the Federal High Court, Justice Lifu? Fantastic.
Yes,
so I just wanted to be sure that we are on the same page. But I'm hoping that my producers will put this up on the screen.
Number 7.
Yeah. So there are 7 prayers which the court responded to and gave its position. Now, in all of this, I tried to read, except if I omitted, my eyes didn't quite catch a few. But I do not see where the court says do not hold local government elections. It restrains the parties in it, including INEC, from giving out the national register. It restrains the DSS and the police from being part of the exercise. But there isn't any place where it has stopped the RCEC from going ahead of the election. Is it part of the prayers of the APC?
So there is. An election is a process, not an incident. It starts from announcements of the timetable for the elections, allowance given to parties to conduct their primaries and select their candidates. Then they begin to campaign and then go to the election on the day fixed for election, and thereafter results are announced. There is a process, and that is what the court referred to in number 7 here. I'll read it again. An order is hereby made, setting aside all acts or things done or purported to be done by the 1st to 5th, all the defendants in the case, in furtherance of the conduct of the purported local government elections in Rivers State, slated for the 5th of October 2024, until the mandatory provisions of law are completed. You follow? So this is what it is, that everything you've done in preparation of this election, the court has said is purported. You didn't do it correctly. Go back and do the right thing. And until it is done, do not conduct elections. That is what it means.
Yeah, Mr. Osigi Okocha. So now, when we wonder that that number 7 ruling or order of the court perhaps looks like almost the most important in the interpretation that you have given. So I imagine that such a heavy and weighty part of that order shouldn't even be kept or inferred. It should be outright in his position or the stance of the court to say, do not go ahead to conduct the election. Because in the interpretation, the other side are saying the court did not say we should not go ahead with the election, as is not explicit in that order.
It is, if you look at it carefully, because it says everything you have done up to this point is not right. Go back and comply. If it is not right, then that is telling you that all the preparations you made are irregular, unlawful, and in defiance of the provisions of the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission law. It's there.
Now, so let me quickly ask you.
I hope you are following me.
Quickly. Now, the Federal High Court position on a local government election and the position of the State High Court, which one, from your experience as a lawyer, which one do you think hold as much water, if I may put it that way? Because a local government election, when we imagine that falls directly under the jurisdiction of the High Court in the state. And now, when the Federal High Court in Abuja is weighing in on this matter, isn't this the kind of confusion that is being raised against the judiciary, as how the judiciary brings itself into this kind of confusion and causes some kind of political tension in the land?
Well, that is the reality of the situation, that the State High Court had made an order, an interim order on the 5th of September, did not have all these parties before it. And for the completeness of the jurisdiction exercised by the State High Court, you will see that there are some lacuna in the matter. But the Federal High Court, in a later judgment, and the position of the law is clear, the latest order made by a court of competent jurisdiction is the order that will apply, which is why I keep referring to this order number 7, which you can read it out to the public so that people will understand what I'm talking about here.
So my question here is that...
So there should be no confusion in the matter.
Isn't this some of the issues that are being raised against the judiciary, that why would Court of Coordinate Jurisdiction meddle into cases of similar interest or same interest, should the Federal High Court have even gone into this matter in any case, when High Court is already entertaining jurisdiction upon this matter? Isn't an abuse of jurisdictional powers or abuse of...
Shehu, I'm sorry. A court looks at a matter based on the facts placed before it. And I should tell you that something about completeness of the jurisdiction of a particular tribunal, that is the court, looking into any matter. You are talking about conduct of election. You are talking about voters register. You are talking about security. You are talking about a state agency holding an election, in respect of which they need federal agencies to support that election. 5th of September did not have all the parties before it. Judgment, I keep saying. Judgment is after a case has been heard on the witness as a quality of this ruling, which is why I say this is the one that everybody should be looking at, not an interim order made by IPC with justice.
Now, there are those also who would disagree that this is largely a political matter. Why every other state is conducting their local government election, why is Rivers State case evidently looking so different and extraordinary? This is just a local government elections.
Cheryl, what did you say?
So I'm asking that there are those who are worried that this is largely political, and the fact that it's unfortunate that the judiciary is being dragged into this matter, and that the fact remains that other states are conducting these local government election. Now is the turn of Rivers State. Why does it now look extraordinary when Rivers State wants to conduct his own? Why are the political heavyweights and the political gladiators at loggerheads over the local government election? Other states have conducted theirs peacefully.
Let me tell you, you know as a fact that the judiciary is the final arbiter in all disputes. Political contests are disputes. People are contesting for votes. People say, do it this way, this is how it should be done. And if it is not done that way, anybody aggrieved can go to court. And the court settles the matter finally. Because the parties have no rights, they have no jurisdiction, they have no authority to decide their own disputes. It is the judiciary that's giving that power, which is why all cases, as you see, that have gone to court, are brought to the logical conclusion. So it is not a political thing that the court is dabbling into. The court is dealing with rights and interests of the parties who are in a political contest. And they have rights and interests. And they have every entitlement to pursue those rights and interests through the courts up to the highest level.
How did Rivers State get to this point? Who would you blame for it?
Well, I don't know why that question is coming up. Parties are involved. They are all Rivers citizens. An independent electoral commission is involved. That is an agency of the Rivers State government. The person that manages the electoral register, which is what is in place for conducting election, is INEC, a federal agency. The parties that deal with security at elections, the Inspector General of Police, namely the police, and then the Department of State Security Services. So these are matters that pertain on their rights and responsibilities under the law. And if they don't get it right, they will go to seek redress in the courts, and the court will give them directions on what to do, which is what this order has done. Don't do this, don't do this, don't do that. And everybody should obey the judgment of the courts.
There are those who will say tonight that your position tonight is perhaps one that is not surprising, because they think that you are a very good friend of the Minister of the FCT, and that's why you hold this. But are those who will say, blame the political actors for what is happening to Rivers State. How do you respond to that?
Let me say this. Leave personalities out of the matter. When we deal with cases, we deal with issues. The minister of the FCT is not a party in this case. Why should anybody be calling his name?
But this is a political matter, Mr. Okocha. This is a political matter, which, of course, the political interests have their hands digged into it. If they have not stopped this process through the court or tried to stop the process through the court, we perhaps not be talking about it. And that are those who are saying that you're a friend of Mr. Wike, are they wrong?
Listen, as I said, we should leave personalities out of the matter. The issues involved are issues of law and has nothing to do with personality. You follow? It is individuals that are raising all these allegations, which have no bearing on the matter. The parties in this case are institutions. All Progressives Congress, Independent National Electoral Commission, Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, Attorney General of Rivers State as representative, legal representative of government of Rivers State, and the State Security Service, DSS. All these are institutions. The matter has nothing to do with individuals. Nothing particularly to do with Nelson Wike, who is the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory. So people should move away from parochialism and, casting aspersions on individuals just because they want to score what I call a cheap political point. We are before the law courts, and what we are looking at, the law and the judgment of the courts, regardless of who is involved and whose interest is detrimented. I am an interested party, you are, we're all citizens of Nigeria. But we're not parties in this case. We're only interested in the issues being resolved in accordance with the rule of law.
As an elder, just to wrap this up quickly, as an elder in Rivers State and a stakeholder, what in your mind do you think will be the way forward? The governor has said election will go on tomorrow. But from your own standpoint, what do you think is the way forward?
The way forward is for the State Independent National Electoral Commission, the governor of Rivers State, represented by the Attorney General of Rivers State, to obey the order of the courts. All others have agreed to obey. INEC has said we've not given them register. We will not give them in compliance with the rule of with the order of the courts. The Inspector General of Police, speaking through the police spokesman in Rivers State here, has said we will obey the order of the courts and will not provide security for the election. And if you don't provide security for election, there is bound to be problems. In every likelihood, people will go amok, run amok, take the law into their own hands. What we want is peace. What does the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission lose by going back to the drawing boards to start the process all over again and ensure that it is properly done in accordance with the law in place?
All right.
So this is my take on it. People are hitting up equality for no just cause whatsoever and calling people's names up and down. And then you hear them say one man. Who is that one man they are referring to? Nelson Wike. Nelson Wike has nothing in this matter.
Thank you so much, Mr. OCJ Okocha, former NBA president, senior advocate of Nigeria. Thank you so much for the perspectives that you shared on this matter.
Thank you, Mr. Kimbaloye. I'm very grateful. Thank you, viewers, for listening.
Appreciate it. We'll take a break, everyone, but when we come back, more perspectives on this one. Not exactly what Mr. OCJ Okocha's stance are, but we'll be hearing more on this matter after this break, everyone. Join us again. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. Let's get some other perspectives into these Rivers matter. I'm being joined by rights activists and a concerned Rivers State stakeholder, Mr. Jake Epele. Thank you so much indeed for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Seun. Thank you.
Why is it difficult for Rivers to conduct a local government election? And I asked Mr. OCJ Okocha earlier. I mean, all the states have conducted. You are from that state. Why is it always a turbulent and a tumultuous effort in trying to put together an election in Rivers State almost every other time?
Seun, just before I say that, let me use this opportunity to thank you, because what you did, I listened to that interview, was to defend democracy and to defend the common people of Rivers State. We will ever remain grateful because you asked the right question and we didn't get the right answer, unfortunately. Why is it that election cannot hold in River State? One, personal interest. Personal interest above the interest of River State. These were the same group of people that were questioning why election shouldn't hold. Why is it that there will be caretaker committee? The same group of people are turning around to say election shouldn't hold. Who would you describe, viewers, as enemies of democracy? Anybody that is trying to stop this process is enemy of democracy.
But let's also,
and truly and
yeah,
really.
Mr. Jack, Mr. Jack, there is a substantive judgment of the High Court in Rivers State, which are the claimant as the Action People's Party and had the defendants as the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, the Rivers State government, and the governor of Rivers State. Well, interestingly, that judgment was delivered on the 6th of September. Now, you look at the judgment that was delivered in Justice Lifu's court at the Federal High Court in Abuja. That was signed off on the 30th of September. In the eye of the law, I mean, you see the last judgment, of course, normally supersedes the earlier one. Yes. So there are those who will look at it on the face value of law that those who are holding on to the judgment of Federal High Court were right under the law. Has those on the other side done the right and the lawful and the legal thing also to be able to hold a legal ground to go into the election? These are critical questions, isn't it?
Well, I'm not a lawyer, you are. Respected elder statesman Okocha is. However, I took time to look at that even before I came on your show. There was no explicit explanation, detailed explanation. The law must not contradict itself. There is no explicit explanation that says election should not hold. That is the truth, and they know it. Any other private interpretation of these 7 prayers is a total mockery of judiciary and the electoral process. You know, I am surprised. I'm really surprised that the same people that should fight to protect the integrity of democracy and the common good of the people. This is River State we are talking about. This is not a private institution. It's not a personal enterprise. This is the private, and I'm telling you, Shehu, history are watching all these players, and it will never be kind to them, because it is the common people that suffers.
So there is an injunction which is momentary. It expires for under our procedure in court. There, for some of the states, High Court, it expires after 7 days. For the Federal High Court, it's about 14 days. So if you look at the position of the High Court in Rivers State, there are those who will question the powers of the court to make, to give a ruling or an order on a federal entity, whether or not it has jurisdiction. And I'm making reference to the 7th order in that order from the state High Court, which says that an order of mandatory injunction be and is hereby further issued, directing or commanding the fourth defendant being the APP in this matter. And the court went further to say that to utilize the National Register of Voters for the 2023 general election compiled by the Independent National Electoral Commission, pursuant to Section 9, subsection 1A, 4 to 6 of the Electoral Act 2022, to conduct election into the 23 local government councils of Rivers State. That was an injunction, Mr. Pele. The question is that there is a federal High Court which gave a substantive judgment, of course, say, do not use. And this position of court, one came before the other. So in the eye of the law, there are no emotions in law, but the fact that technicality of it has stopped in this sense, do not use the register. That is what the law, and INEC on the ground has said, we will not avail LGA the register because the court has said so.
Let's go back to the first question you had. Why River State?
No, but
what is special?
Agree. Because when special? I sit here, when I sit here, I sit to look at the matters holistically for those who belong to the different sides of the divide. But the question is that, legally speaking, there is a technical conundrum here, which if emotions cannot solve it, and if this is not vacated, there's going to be, down the road, you just kicking the battle down the road, there is going to be a problem at the end of the day. This number 7, right? And the position of the Justice Lifu's court assigned on the 30th of September are problematic.
Yeah, exactly.
For the election to hold.
Exactly. No, but it did not say, you read it. You did not say the election should not hold. It is a private interpretation that everybody is giving to serve their purpose. It did not say election should not hold. By the way, why are these entities kicking against the election in River State? Simply because they know by the time is on the 15th, we will lose our revenue allocation. And to me, this is wickedness, because it's not about Fubara, it's not about anything. It's all about the people. The people of River State are going to suffer as a result. And somebody is sitting down. Are you really true a Rivers person? That's my question. Because if truly you're a Rivers person and you have the interests of the people, and the people matters to you, and the poor and the indigent who will cry of hunger, going to bed without food as a result of this, this is absolute wickedness. And everyone involved, I think it was Patient Goodluck, there is God, though. There is. You know, you don't do this to your own people. This is absolute wickedness. And it will be resisted to the latter. It doesn't make sense to me. It does not make sense to me. Why go to the court in the first place to stop a process that is turned legal? Why go to court in the first place to stop it? What are you trying to achieve? Shame on everyone involved.
Can you blame the security agencies that they have their hands tied by withdrawing their services for this purpose? Let me read to you. And there are those who are, the likes of Femi Falana had come forward to say the police should provide security.
Of course.
But look, when the court said, look at what the court said. The court says in the number 6 of the Justice Lifu ruling, it says the 4th and 5th defendants, which is the police and the DSS, their agents, privies, servants are herein restrained from providing the 2nd and 3rd defendant, which is the LGA, and 3rd defendant with security protection to conduct the proposed local government election in Rivers State slated for the 5th of October 2024. The court is explicit, the court is direct, and the court is very, very concise, pointed on what the police and DSS should do and not do.
I agree.
Can you blame the police?
I agree, but the police will be responsible if there is an issue. If tomorrow there is a breakdown of law and order, police will take responsibility for it. They'll be held accountable.
We understand that Governor Fubara has now called on the NSCDC.
Yes.
Since they are not party to this,
exactly,
the NSCDC should
provide security. So, however, the people that crafted, and I'm sorry, the Honorable Justice that crafted this judgment, did he think of the people? There's a place for legality, there's a place for morality. Did it occur to him that people will lose their lives as a result of this judgment? The people that are saying they will not participate, how can the same police that is there to protect us, to protect lives and properties of the people, will back out? What would the IG do if tomorrow he sees the street is burning? So he will say he's restricted by court order and allow the entire street to burn.
But what do you do? Two things, right? So, sorry, apologies, sir. 2 things. Is the police torn between the devil and the sea in this matter, torn between two hard places, because on one hand, if he doesn't obey the position, I mean the ruling of court, they say is contempt of court.
Yeah.
Now, and he has the fundamental and the constitutional duty to protect citizens, because that's the premise and upon which he's taking the oath of office. But the question is that if you were in the IG's shoes, what would you do?
Look, simply put, the moment they saw that judgment, they would have at least make effort to go to court to at least give them the opportunity to protect lives. If you don't protect the ballot box, protect the lives of the people. Because, you see, Chenwu, I'm not a prophet of doom, but I hope that this is not a ploy to create more crisis in the state and call for state of emergency.
How would that happen?
It can. When you take away the people, the law machinery, the law enforcement agency that is supposed to protect the people and the state, and you take them to back out. Because this is not just all about the election. You know, it's beyond that.
What is this about?
It is the people. It is protecting
the I'm asking, what is causing all of this? I mean, evidently...
I answered you. It's personal interest. The interest of the former governor and also the interest of the sitting governor.
How do you resolve this? Because definitely this is, you know what is happening in the State House of Assembly. There are factions, and there are the laws, I mean, the court judgment that supports one hand, and on the other hand, there's a court judgment that supports the other party. But this is impacting on governance in the state. The question I will ask you, some of you are elder statesmen, in your own right. Are there elders in Rivers State? Because when there is this kind of crisis, when we wonder where I come from, there is a popular proverb, and I'll say it in my language, then say it also in interpret it in English. The elders never...
That sounds like speaking in tongues.
Elders never be in the marketplace and see the head of the infant turn 360. Now, the question is that for the safety, the child here could be the state. Now, how will the elders of Rivers State be in the marketplace and see so much of stones and rocks being thrown at each other when you know that you are surrounded by glass houses?
I wish you had asked my respected elder, O.C.O. Kocha. I expected people like that to jump in and broker peace. I expected several others. I think I heard Odili did his best, but that's not good enough. We need to do more. Everyone involved needs to do more so that we can have peace. But by the way, let me ask one question. Why would one man wants to hold this state on a jugular?
Is that Governor Fubara?
That's not Fubara, it's Wike. Period.
You are a Fubara fan, right?
No.
You are not a Wike fan.
No, hold on. Truly and really, I am from Opopo. You know me. I will tell you the way it is. I am from Opopo. I am from where Fubara is. But this is not
about... German.
Yes, this is not about...
So for you,
Fubara.
This is ethnic, this is
not
personal.
Ethnic. No, it's not ethnic. It is their personality clash taking bearing on the entire state. However, I think that if truly and really peace, the warring parties wants to achieve peace, especially FCT minister, he can make a move and put an end to this. Wike has the capacity to put an end to this, period.
I hope that in the coming days, in the next few hours, whether or not the people of Rivers State go to the polls tomorrow, it means one thing, that water is supposed to be peaceful, but is causing a storm. Rivers State, or the rivers, is now rivers of storm, other than rivers of peace. Well, how peace is going to return is left to the right thinking and people of conscience in that state to now weigh in quickly. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Jacob Ele.
Thank you, Shehu. I thank God for your life. I thank God for your objectivity. And we need people like you to preserve democracy in Nigeria. The people of Rivers State, please do not allow anyone to push you to the edge. Let's maintain calm, let's maintain peace, and do the needful.
Thank you so much indeed. That's how far we can go tonight, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm Sean Akimbaloye. I'll see you next time. God bless Nigeria.